Beating people up, that makes me happy. Yeah. And honest, I can sit here and this isn't some character. This is exactly who I am. If you go back and look at all the interviews I've ever done, this is who I am. It's plain and simple, nuts and bolts. Brock Lesnar. I've always had an attitude problem. I've never respected any of my opponents in my entire life. And I found my release on the wrestling mat. Maybe I didn't win all the time, but one thing was for sure, that I was physical, and if you're wrestling, you're gonna get beat up.
As they say, here comes the pain, the beast who enjoys hurting people.
My passion is getting in that squared circle and kicking somebody's ass.
The animal in Lesnar has been unleashed.
When it was match time for me, it was tunnel vision. The only thing I wanted was blood and guts. I found that I could fight with people and beat people up and get away with it. It's basically a legal street fight.
Brock Lesnar is the perfect fighting machine, the most decorated combat athlete of all time. This is the beast incarnate.
I'm the meanest and baddest son of a bitch that ever walked the face of the planet. At the end of the day, I don't care about anybody but Brock Lesnar. I live by this.
My client, Brock Lesnar's life is like a t-shirt. Eat, sleep, conquer, repeat.
I live by this creed. This isn't something we just came up with. This is how I live my life. Eat, sleep, conquer, repeat. I think God put me on this planet to be the monster that I am. I've always been a very physical kid, and I've only known one thing, and that's to be aggressive and to be a wrestler. I can remember going in and being very, very competitive with my friends, you know. I mean, see who could run the fastest, or see who could take each other down, or if I could pin you. I just was never giving up. I was always fighting to be number one.
And the champion at 189 from Webster, Brock Lesnar.
I hated to lose on anything. That's to this day. I still, you know, I can't play. I never grew up playing Nintendo or anything like that. So I mean, I get physically angry at the TV if I lose on even a Nintendo game. So I don't even play them. I've always had an attitude problem. I don't know where it came from. You know, I think my attitude is something that you just develop as a young kid, or just God gives it to you. And I found my release on the wrestling mat.
Raw and angry and mean and intent on hurting somebody.
I found that I could fight with people and beat people up and get away with it.
Brock Lesnar, a one-man wrecking crew here.
I was fighting in school, and then half the time I was sitting in detention or suspended. And I thought, well, you know, I'll control myself and take it out on the wrestling mat.
Coming to the ring, hot young upset kid from Minnesota, Shelton Benjamin, and his partner and former teammate on the wrestling team in Minnesota, the 2000 NCAA heavyweight wrestling champion, Brock Lesnar, and tonight's his TV wrestling debut. What a physical specimen, almost 300 pounds of rock-hard muscle is Brock Lesnar. And his partners was Shelton Benjamin. Shelton, still a rookie, only been in OVW now around 4 months. Brock Lesnar, still in his rookie month as a professional wrestler. But folks, don't let their lack of experience fool you in professional wrestling, because in amateur wrestling, they've done everything there is just about to do. Shelton Benjamin, a two-time All-American, former assistant wrestling coach in Minnesota, where he is teammates with Brock Lesnar, who was the Big Ten champion 2 years in a row. He was the 1999 NCAA runner-up and this year's heavyweight wrestling champion. And I think that Casey and Michaels, my God, he just ran into a brick wall. Casey and Michaels have their hands full in this one, folks. the World Wrestling Federation, and as well as us at OVW, have tremendous hopes for both Shelton Benjamin and the man in the ring, the mountain in the ring, Brock Lesnar.
Obviously, Chris Michaels stunned, not knowing that Brock had tagged in as he had his back to him. You should have seen, I don't know if you could see from your vantage point, the look on Chris Michaels' face when he turned around and walked into.
He's trying to tag Casey.
He wants out bad.
Michaels trying to tag Casey, and Casey's giving Michaels all kinds of encouragement of how Michaels can whip Brock Lesnar. I'll tell you something, it's not cut and dried here, folks, because remember, Michaels and Casey giving up a lot of size, but they've got a combined 14 years experience as professionals. Brock and Shelton can't combine for 6 months experience yet. And in this game, that very well could tell the tale. Who can cheat and get away with it? Who can take the shortcut? And Michaels and Casey, well, wait a minute, I think they realized they were in public, folks. I think they only do that in private. But Michaels and Casey, neither one anxious to tackle this mountain of a man. Looks like he's chiseled out of granite, Brock Lesnar.
Right now, they're both just figuring out who's going to be the first one to get out of the ring, and Sexy Sean Casey was the first one to bail. Oh, Chris Michaels tags the Sexy one, whether he likes it or not. Now we can get him into the ring, maybe. And
Casey looks like he's seen a ghost. Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin. Both of these men will be part of the huge invasion of Litchfield, Kentucky. OVW comes to Litchfield at the Grayson County Middle School. That'll be next Saturday night, October 21st, and Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin will be in town. You know, in the locker room, these two men who train together and who work out together and who come to the wrestling classes together, Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin have become known as the Minnesota Stretching Crew. And I think that's a tremendous testament to their reputation within this industry. Of course, the legendary Ole and Gene Anderson, later Ole and Arn Anderson, natives of Minnesota, made great waves in professional wrestling as the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. These folks, I tell you, Shelton, Brock, they may wreck you, but they'll damn sure stretch you. Casey, wait a minute. Shelton Benjamin, the inexperience, that was the key. Shelton Benjamin went to Michaels, but Casey was the legal man. And Casey with a superb move from behind. And now Michaels and Casey with the double team. And Brock Lesnar unable to do anything but watch because he can't make the tag.
That's right. Of course, the referee during that time distracted, trying to get Brock back out of the ring. And of course, Casey and Michaels, showing their experience, takes that opportunity to double team young Shelton Benjamin. Right now, they got the upper hand on him, working big fist from the light heavyweight champion. Setting him up, the Irish whip into the corner, comes over and gets a sexy one, follows him in, a reversal, and pops Chris Michael into young Shelton.
And now look at Michaels, sends him right into Casey, and Casey with that belly to back and the power drive down. I'll tell you, Casey with a lateral press, 1, 2, no, Shelton Benjamin, too gutsy. While we have the opportunity, folks, we'd like to send out our condolences from all of us at OVW to the family and the many friends of the late Klondike Bill, who passed away last week at his home in Charlotte at the age of 68. He, one of the genuinely wonderful human beings in professional wrestling that I've ever known. He will be missed. Klondike Bill. Now Shelton Benjamin, that belly to belly, sending Michaels over the top. Shelton Benjamin has the open and makes the tag. But no, Casey had Ray Ramsey's back turned. Casey had the referee distracted. I don't think, as a matter of fact, I know that he didn't see the tag. Brock Lesnar still in the ring. Brock Lesnar knocking Casey and Michaels down. But the referee tried to tell Brock, you gotta get out of there. Brock's inexperienced as a rookie coming to the fore.
Look out.
There's Casey and Michaels, but there's the Blondes. Casey and Michaels going for that slingshot superplex. But the Blondes pulled their feet out from under them. Shelton landed right on top of them. My God, we've got a tit for tat situation. Casey and Michaels cost the Blondes a win earlier. And now the Blondes cost Casey and Michaels a win in this one. Folks, don't you dare go away. Still to come, our TV main event. Damage Nick Dinsmore against the Collector and Slick Robbie D. We'll be right back.
The first time I met Curt Hennig, he introduced himself as Minnesota's greatest athlete. I met him at the University of Minnesota wrestling match that I had just got done wrestling, and he came up and congratulated me and joked around right away. I caught his sense of humor, you know, because he was telling me it looks like he had a hard time beating that guy, you know, because the match didn't go very long, because I ended up beating the kid pretty early, and he gave me a pat on the back. Curt actually trained me right when I started to break into the business, him and Brad Rangans. And Curt spent many days and hours with me. He took me under his wing and showed me the old school ropes, and Curt always critiqued me. traveled with him this last run that he was here with the WWE, and 3 days before he passed away, he called me on the telephone and he critiqued me on some things that he could see from watching me. His love for the business, you know, was something that really was in his heart and in his mind. I just couldn't believe it when he had passed away, and the following week we were supposed to go fishing. He was a great role model for me. He's in a better place, and he knows that I loved him, and I appreciate everything he did for me.
Here is your winner, Mr. Perfect.
The old saying I can remember as a young kid, if you want to fly with the Eagles, you got to quit flying with the Crows, because the Crows only fly so high, and the Eagles, you know, there's never ending. They can go as high as they want, you know. So I surrounded myself with great people and great workout partners, and that's what made me. There's nothing better than getting knocked off the horse and trying to get back on it. And that's what life is all about, setting goals and trying to be number one. I mean, what's the reason for living if you ain't got something to achieve or accomplish in life, you know? I mean, it's kind of boring without it. You know, you can sit in your house and sit on your couch and watch TV all day, but how much fun is that? I'd rather go out and try to succeed and to do things with my life and to see how good I could do something. You know, that's rewarding to me. This whole year has gone by like one big freight train that's been unable to stop. And to transform from an amateur wrestler to the entertainment industry, I think it was a process that I was put in. I've always put myself into positions that I was against me. The odds were against me, and I like that. I like to prove people wrong. Even as a young amateur wrestler, you know, people said I couldn't do this, that I couldn't do that, and I just enjoyed proving them wrong. But I love it. I live and breathe and eat pressure. I love it. If there ain't pressure, you ain't worth breathing or living. You know, ain't worth getting out of bed. I don't consider myself the next big thing anymore. I'm the big thing.
A carnivore, animalistic monster.
I really am. I'm a one-time WWE champion.
Killing machine.
King of the Ring winner, Royal Rumble winner.
Dominant, relentless.
I think I've lost that nickname because me personally, I feel like I'm the big thing. Let me put it like this, and I'm a brutally honest human being. I'll take my shoes off for 1 week, and I won't give you a week. I'll give you 2 days, and you wouldn't last. If I had to say that to somebody that wanted to become a wrestler, because of how demanding it is, the travel, the hotels, finding food, finding a gym, missing your family, wrestling.
Shoot stop press right on his head.
The abuse in the ring.
Fact of the matter is, Brock Lesnar is leaving WrestleMania as the WWE Champion.
People think that the ring is made out of a Serta mattress. But I've wrestled with busted knees.
Brock Lesnar is so explosive. And I think Lesnar got the brunt of that. And he may have hurt his knee.
Wrestled ribs broken.
The ribs into the steel post. I cannot believe it. Big Show's never been suplexed like that.
That's something that people really don't understand. They think that it's all just part of the storyline, but it's not. It's the real deal. Broken ribs, torn ligaments. We go all there and still perform. It's not some hokey-pokey part of the script. You get hurt. It's a brutal business on your body. Sometimes it really pisses me off that, people just think that you're this indestructible person because TV makes you that. We're really normal people, and we have regular lives, and it's hard to be regular when you're put under the spotlight.